Hey there, family and friends. We are so excited for our wedding. Forever Joy 2021 is going down.
Yay.
And we just wanted to take a moment, Fisayo and I, just to share a little bit of our story. I think we have a pretty, I guess, unique. I don't know. I mean, we definitely have a unique story because nobody has ever lived our lives before. But yeah, we just wanted to just have a little bit of fun, share some of our story, and also hopefully encourage some people who may be in a similar situation like she was in, right? She is a former victim of the friend zone, but she is now a victor. Come on now, from victim to
Okay.
victor, right?
Okay.
From friend zone, right, to
To what?
end
And
zone.
stupid.
Hey, if you only the people in the spirit will understand that one. All right, from friend zone to end zone. But yeah, man. And we just wanted to just share a little bit of our story, some of the highlights that we couldn't cover. On the website and through typing, we wanted to just share it a little bit and just really have a little bit of fun. So I'll start because I have the best memory out of the two of us.
Allegedly.
Absolutely do.
Okay.
And the part of my story begins in 2014. That was when I first met Fisayo. And at that time, I didn't really think anything of her. I just thought that she was, I thought it was interesting that she has the same name as my cousin, Fisayo. And I'd never met anybody else in the world like with the same name as him, or even honestly, like only a few people who have like a similar name like mine. And so whenever I see somebody like that, I'm like, oh wow, like this person, they might just be a little interesting, but nothing beyond that. It was in 2014. I came up to Maryland for a leadership conference with Bethel Campus Fellowship, BCF. We're gonna mention BCF a little bit, so a lot in our story. Yeah, so it was a leadership conference that weekend, September 2014. And what I remember exactly was that we had an event on the Saturday, and they were asking for people to just help to pack up the media equipment back into the van that we're going to take back to BCF Place. BCF Place is the headquarters where a lot of equipments are stored. It's sort of kind of become like a storage now. Right, but that's that's a story for another day. That has nothing to do with us, right? But anyways, and I just remember they were like, oh yeah, Fisal needs people to help, and so I was just like, oh yeah, like sure, like because one thing about me, anybody that really knows me, is I just love to just help people. I'm saying I just love to serve, especially like when it comes to just grabbing, some of the unglamorous things. That's just what I love to do. And I decided like, let me just, let me go over and let me just help out. She doesn't remember that moment though.
Although I don't remember that specific moment, I still remember that weekend because we all were staying in the hotel for leadership conference and they gave us like Subway lunch. And myself, Star, and Gabe, we didn't want to eat Subway. So we went to the Chick-fil-A down the street. And I remember when we were like driving at the park, by the park, we saw Faye, but none of us knew him. But it was like, okay, he's really tall.
Hey,
dark.
yeah.
So I was like, who's this tall guy?
Who's
but that's
she?
literally where it ended.
Just
I don't
Yeah,
I don't remember
everything
anything.
changes.
I don't remember us actually interacting with each other that day, but I do remember seeing him. But yeah, that's all that happened on my end.
Yeah, and after that moment, we would only like, partially interact. I remember there was a moment, I forget what year, I think it was early in 2016, when your laptop it got stolen, right? And like somebody, I think she shared it or somebody shared it on a group meet that we were both happened to be in because we both serve in BCF. And me just being a good, Christian brother, I was just like, oh man, and I could like, and I could also like relate with her because a couple of months before that, like I had actually gotten robbed like in front of my house, at gunpoint. Yeah, it's probably a little dramatic, right? But I'm okay though, you know what I'm saying? God
No,
is good.
5 years later.
Yeah, so anyways, like a couple of months before the incident where she got robbed, like I had gotten robbed, and so I was just like, yeah, like man, like I totally, can just really connect with what she's going through, and so really just out of just honest, genuine Christian compassion, right? Like
Christian
I
compassion.
called her, yeah, like I think I got her number from somebody, and I called her, and I was just like, hey, is everything okay? How, how's the family, yada, 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 and I prayed with her, just encouraged her. Yeah, like, and that was really just it. Like, we didn't really, there was not much like interaction beyond that. But then there's a moment that I will never, ever, ever forget. And as I began to, the moment that I began to pursue Fisaya, or just pursue the idea of Fisaya, this was one moment that God brought back to my mind. It was in November of 2016. So I had a relationship with her brother-in-law, Jimmy Adeoti, prior to, us even being friends. And so Jimmy had just moved up to Maryland in November of 2016, and I was in town for the Proclaim Freedom Crusade that BCF was having. Remember, I said we're gonna mention BCF a lot, right? And so during that week, it was Thanksgiving week, so I was off of school, and I just remembered I hit up Jimmy just to hang out with him. And we hung out, we went out to breakfast, and then afterwards he was like, oh, if you're not doing anything later on today, I'm going to hang out at Fisaya and Korede's house. Korede's his wife. At the time, that was his fiance. And I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't mind killing a little bit of time hanging out with Fisaya and her family. And I remember that day. That day was like, it was just a lot of fun. It was just like cracking jokes and a whole lot of things. But the moment that occurred that I'll never forget was while I was there, I got a phone call from my brother in Atlanta, and he told me that my car had gotten impounded, and that it got it impounded, and that I would need to pay a certain amount of money to get it out. And at the time, I was dead broke, like broke as a joke. Like it wasn't, like that's not even funny. Right. Get it? Anyways, yeah, like yeah, and I stepped out of the living room to take the call. And as I'm on the phone and I'm getting just this like really sad news, I was just like my whole demeanor just changed. And Fisaya just happened to be walking by, and she was like,
sorry, I'm laughing. This is not what happened. He's literally lying.
I'm not lying.
I did not walk past. I didn't hear that conversation. You put it on a group me, and I saw it on group
okay. Look,
but he always tries to make it more dramatic than it really is.
Okay, well, look, my version of the story is a lot better, right?
Okay.
Like, so she heard about what was going on, and I was like, man, my car, sob story. And this girl who didn't really know me that much, right? She was just like, oh, how much is it? I was like, $250, right? And this girl sent me, at least my version of how I remember it, she sent me $50.
Y'all, I went back to my Cash App history. And I think I gave you $15.
Look,
I literally think it was $15.
Okay, yeah, it might have been closer to 15 than 50, right? But honestly, like it felt like $50, right? And that for me was really like the first opportunity that I really began to see Fisayo's heart, like a person who is willing to literally take the shirt off of her own back, you know what I'm saying? Like to clothe another individual that she may not even know that. I mean, like we cool. Remember, I shared about how I called her after, she got robbed, and like all I gave her was a prayer, you know what I'm saying? Is well with your sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she, like she saw me in my need. And in addition to like prayer and encouragement, she like was like, hey, I can bless you, you know, and let me help you out. And so that was the moment that I was really like, man, this Fisao girl, she's pretty cool, you know.
In
Like she was,
hindsight.
like, you know, like in the moment, I was not, nah, yeah, she was not on my radar at all.
At all. Funny enough, at this point, I think I already started having feelings for you because I remember that same weekend, Sam and Lou actually had a Thanksgiving thing at Sam's house. Right?
Yeah.
So I remember
they
going there,
did,
and I think I went with Diana. And the whole time I'm just observing, like literally just watching, because I don't really like social settings, right? So usually when I'm with a lot of people, I'm the one in the corner on my phone talking to the one person I know, which is exactly what was happening. I was talking to Diana, and I just see that this guy's literally just hopping and talking to everyone, mostly girls.
I was like a kid
but
in a candy
everyone.
store.
And if you know Faye, that's exactly what he does. It doesn't matter where he is. He's able to strike conversation with literally everyone. And I was just looking, and it was like, yeah, this is a lot. Well, for knowing his personality, it was just like, this is a lot. He's definitely out there, which is the exact opposite of me. But yeah, in 2016, I already started having feelings, which was really, really weird for me because I've had crushes in the past and I thought it was going to pass because it's like, I don't know him. I felt really, really crazy because it's like, why? How can I say I like someone and I don't know them? We were literally only friends on Instagram, Facebook.
Group me.
And that was it.
Yeah, group me.
That was it.
Yeah. But anyway, so moving forward in 2017, and I know on her end, like she really kind of started to like me a whole lot as 2016 transitioned into 2017 because she was getting ready to graduate, and I remember so like she stated, our friendship wasn't beyond any, you know, it was just like social media interaction, or if I ever like texted her, it was because like
he needed something from me.
Could you send this? Could you
he
send
needed
an email?
Something from me.
Hey, and like
he was paying my bills.
Just the way that I am. I'm a people person, right? And so before I begin to ask somebody, you know, to help me out with something, I'll make some small talk. Hey,
let's actually pause
going?
To talk about this. I hate small talk when all it leads to is you asking me something. And that's all Faye did, where he'll text you talking about hey, how are you doing? Oh yeah, you talked about that one class. How was it going? And you think the person actually cares and wants to be your friend. And it all ends in, so when is the Georgia Proclaim video coming? Or something stupid like that. I hate small talk. It's so manipulative to me. If you do it, please stop.
And
it's
that,
not cute.
and that, I would do that like all the time to be signed. I hit her up. Hey, how's everything going? You know, I would talk, we'd do some LOLs, but like my mom wasn't really there. I was just setting her up to ask her to
do you hear yourself?
Send an email or like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the basis of our relationship, right? And also in 2017, and I really started to hit her up a lot more because in 2017 we were having Proclaim Freedom Crusade in Georgia, right? And during that summertime period, we were like preparing for stuff, and she was in charge of BCF Media. And so I was part of the planning team for Proclaim in Georgia, and so I was really just hitting her up always, like, you know, just getting advice and tips about you know, the promo stuff and the promo video and things of that nature, right? But because like we were talking a little bit more, like I said, as per my usual style, I would just kind of be like probing into her life a little bit, like, oh hey, like, you know, how's school, right? And so one of these days in particular, we started to talk about like what she's doing after graduation, because she had just graduated in May, right? May 2017, and I graduated December 2016, and we were just talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking about what her post-graduation plans were, and she mentioned that she was going to be doing a year of service in Connecticut, and it was like so crazily like coincidental, because like literally like the day before I had just put in an application to do a year of service, but I didn't know like where I was going to be.
No, you hadn't. No. You put in the application after we talked, Faye. Yeah, he hasn't thanked me. The only reason you ended up at Jersey is because of me, bro. This is what happened. You had your summer program in Cali.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking, and what he does was so similar to what I was about to be doing in Connecticut. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing a year of service in AmeriCorps, moving to Connecticut. And he was like, oh, I've heard of that program, Great Oaks. My really close friend Moyo did it the year before. Exactly. And then you applied for it.
But I had been considering it already.
You said you applied. You didn't apply. You applied after our conversation.
Okay. Not because of you or anything like that.
I'm just saying you ain't applied before.
Okay, yeah.
It is because of me. If I didn't say it, that was like the final push you needed to really do it.
No, but I just want to clarify that I didn't do it like because she told me that she was going to Connecticut, and I was like, yeah, this Fisaya girl, like she's pretty cool. But like at the time, I was like, she's pretty cool, but like. I'm not really trying to be around her.
Wait. Pause.
So I
pause.
deliberately
When you did it, no, that's not.
New Jersey.
You're so annoying. I can actually go back to text message.
Girl.
No, what? Wait.
I was like, bro, she probably like me.
First of all, the way the program works, you don't choose your own location.
You do.
The way no.
Choose.
The way it works, no, you don't. I didn't get to choose.
I got to
the
choose.
The way it works is they have 4 different locations. You apply generally, and then they're like, okay, we think you would be a good fit here. So we talked about it. I was like, you look like a New York type of guy. You know,
she did not say. You didn't
oh
say
my God, Faye, I can.
That. What are you saying?
I can literally.
You're not gonna find it. You're not gonna find it during this time period.
Go ahead.
No, like so. In my experience, right after I got the position, they were like, "Oh, hey, you know, we're trying to fill up spots. You could either go to Connecticut, or you could go to Newark, New Jersey." And I was like,
"They gave you an option for Connecticut?"
They gave me an option, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Fisaya said she's gonna be in Connecticut." I was like, "Let me go to New Jersey."
It actually shows up.
I said, let me go to New Jersey, right? But it was during that time period that our relationship really began to blossom, right? And we began to like actually like, you know, be friends, like, you know, we text each other every now and then, you know, because we were both like sharing a new experience together. And we just had different aspects that we were able to like relate together with. And things like really began to take off in 2018 when we both decided that we wanted to invite some of our friends, our coworkers, people that we had met during the year of service to come to BCF conference with us. BCF conference always happens in February, right? So this was early 2018, right? BCF conference.
Sorry, Paul. I have the receipts. You seem like a fast-paced New York type, but you're trying to do New York, right? And you were like, New York isn't available, so New Jersey. Don't try to play me. I did say all that. Anyways, so yeah, 2018 comes. This is February. Well, it was like December probably. We were talking about our friends, talking to our friends about BCF National Conference. And Connecticut is like an hour and a half away from Jersey.
Yeah.
So the plan was we would leave. I had 2 of my girlfriends. We would leave Connecticut, go to Jersey, and then we had a van where we would all drive to North Carolina. Yeah, so this...
Like a 10-12 hour journey.
I don't know why we did this thing twice, but Jumi so it was me, him, Jumi, and then Marie, Christina, Christy, Debbie. Yeah, it was actually really fun.
The other girl.
The other girl.
Connecticut. I forget her name. You forgot her name too.
They had to know that. So we drove down, and the whole time. If you also know Faye, he loves driving.
And I love to sing while I'm driving.
And he loves to hold us hostage and not make stops while we're driving. So it was overnight. I think we left Jersey like
Thursday,
midnight.
yeah, like Thursday night.
Yeah, it was really late. So it was my first time meeting all his friends, their first time meeting my friends. So we were all just getting to know each other. But majority of the time they were sleeping because it was overnight. But I felt bad. Like this was like 10 hours. So I'm like, I'm going to try to stay up as much as I can so this guy doesn't fall asleep and kill us all, right? On our way to conference. So I did try to stay up for the most part. Yeah. And we were just talking. I don't know what we're talking about, but we were just talking.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, at the time, right, her feelings were maturing, and I was not even looking in her direction. I had my own little things, going on, but at this point in time, though, I kind of pause and say that I really began to see, especially like during that road trip, and subsequent road trips that would follow, because like we both like were leaders in BCF, and so after we went to conference and came back, we were like, yo, like her and I we were talking, we were like, yo, like we want to just kind of continue like this community, feel like, and so we basically decided that every month in the months following national conference in February, that we would like we would plan hangouts, together, like sometimes in Connecticut, sometimes in New Jersey, Fisayo and Debbie, they would drive down, and we would just do stuff, right? And also like in the later months too, there would be stuff going on in Maryland, and so Fisayo would like drive down and she'd be like, oh Faye, like, do you want to come, right? And it was just during this time, right, where like I really began to see like the Fisayo's heart, right, like her care and her compassion, because every time she would ask me, she'd be like, oh, what snacks do you want? Or like if it would be multiple people that are coming on the road trip, she would always ask everybody, oh, what snacks does everybody want? And a regular person would be like, okay, this is the snacks y'all want. Y'all need to cash at me. Y'all need to Venmo me. But Fisayo would pay for everybody's snacks, and she would never ask for anything in return. Right. And also, like she's saying, even that national conference trip, like she would stay up with me, even though like she would be dead tired or stuff. Like she would just stay up, make sure that everything is going well. Like she was just a really, really wonderful and solid like assistant and friend. And
pause. Assistant.
You're cool. You were cool, right? But it was really like these seeds, right? At least on my end, right? I just saw them as just genuine care and compassion, right? It was these seeds that were being dropped, really like in my heart as just like observation, and I was just like, man, like besides just a really, really like great person, man, and she's just a really, really awesome friend. But I didn't realize that all of these like, constant interactions and things like that were really, really like growing something on the inside of her, right? And it led her even up until, sometime in the summertime, right, of 2018, as our year of service was rounding up. Tell them about what happened to you.
What happened?
When you were in your apartment praying?
Oh, no. I have stuff to say before then. So 2017, do you remember the weekend when our program started and we were all in New York?
Yeah.
So that was the first weekend ever Faye and I like ever hung out, just both of us. I remember that weekend I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do too much. I need to just go be very, we're just friends, just be calm. I remember telling Corey, I was talking to Corey like right before I met you downstairs. I was like, I'm not going to put on any makeup. I don't want to do too much. And then I was like, if we go out and this guy pays, something is wrong with him. Because it's like, why are you paying for my meal? Don't give me mixed signals. And we went. It's mostly because he's cheap. But we went. We went and he didn't pay for my food. Which was fine. Because like, this is the first time we're hanging out. Don't try to, say anything. But 2017, feelings are growing, all that good stuff. Look at me messing up the dates, all right? Okay, no, September 2017. My birthday's in September. One of my really close friends, Diana, also was in Connecticut for her PT degree, but she was like an hour away from me. So I was going to spend the weekend with her because we were going to Boston that weekend. So on my way there, I will never forget, I called Uncle George. I had told Uncle George about Faye before, and he was like, talk to Ife. Ife was my mentor. So Uncle George already knew, like, I liked him, all that good stuff, but he never asked me anything outside of that. So September 2017, I'm calling him and I'm like, Uncle George, like, you know, I've prayed and these feelings are still here. I don't know why. I still like him. And Uncle George very, very seriously was like, Fisaya, I'm sorry to say, but Faye's praying about someone else. He was like, Faye's praying about someone else.
Trash your notebook.
But I remember that day because he also had to rush. He had to rush off the phone. And I just felt like I was just left. He just dropped this bomb on me. He called me after and apologized. But yeah, so he tells me this. And in my head, I'm like, bruh, okay, if anything will make me stop liking this guy is the fact that he's already praying about someone else. Like, I'm not about to be the girl still praying about someone that's he's obviously chosen a path he wants to go. So it was like, this is enough reason. I should be able to wash my hands off of this. And that was the plan, but it didn't really work out that way. I would say the feelings were still there, even though I literally tried to pray it away. Like, my prayer was, God, take these feelings away. But I did add a caveat. It was like, if I'm not supposed to have these feelings, take them away. And if I'm supposed to have them, let them stay. And apparently I was supposed to have them, so it's okay. So yeah, that happened. And then in 2018, right before I finished my year of service, I had to stay a bit longer. So I was in the apartment by myself. I went to the beach, I think, just to, you know, relax. And I was praying about it. It's like, Lord, what?
It's like,
what?
What are we doing with that
information? Just so y'all know, I like to go to the beach.
Okay.
Unlike some of you.
Okay.
And I'm a Black person that can swim. Unlike some of us. Anyways, so I go to the beach and I was praying about it, and I should have brought my journal down, but I very clearly thought, or I heard the Lord say, Faye is your husband.
You will be hearing stuff.
So I wrote it down in my journal. That's all I wrote, actually. All I wrote was, Faye's your husband. I put it in quotes because I was like, these aren't my words. This is the Lord talking. And then it was like, okay, this is really weird because I've been told he's praying about someone else. This came after that, I believe. Yeah, he's praying about someone else. I know for a fact Faye's not looking my way. Like, it wasn't one of those where you think the guy likes you, he's just not confirming. I knew Faye didn't like me. I didn't even have to question it. Yeah. I knew for a fact he did not like me.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, okay, we get it. So it was like, what am I supposed to do with this information? And I would talk to Ife about it. Okay. I would talk to Ife about it. And I remember that the night before I left Connecticut, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I'm going back to Maryland. Faye's going back to Georgia. We're not going to be having these hangouts anymore. I'm not going to see him. It's going to be like out of sight, out of mind. And then like that week after, he put on our little group me with our Jersey friends that he got a job at Bowie State University and he was moving to Maryland. I was actually really upset that day. Like, legitimately upset. I remember texting Corey Day like, why? Why is he moving here? Why is he doing this to me? I don't want him here because if I keep seeing you, feelings will continue to grow, and I don't want them to grow because I know this isn't going anywhere. So that day really, I mean, I was happy for him, but I was really upset that day.
Yeah, and you know, that moment is one that we can definitely look back and say that God was absolutely setting something up in his own divine way.
Yeah.
And so I'll also just share that, you know, during this span of time, as Fisaya Riley said, you know, that there was somebody.
There were multiple people.
Whatever. You know, that
somebody.
You know, that I was praying about, because when God began to speak to me, you know, about marriage, this was back in early 2016. And I shared on the website. You know, he gave me a scripture specifically that I wrote down, and I was really using it as a guide, you know, to really guide me just through this journey. And it was the having a shepherd's heart, right? And like that was really just like the compass, right? You know, like that I was using. And like I said, these moments that I would have, and really just noticing those aspects in Fisayo, like at the time, it weren't really like, it just wasn't really like checking out for me, because I was just like, nah, like, yeah, Fisayo, no, yeah, I'm not really, what I'm saying, like, I was not really into her, right? Because it was just like, oh, like, this is just my friend, right? But then there's also like another moment that I had also in 2016, right, where I had a dream, and in the dream, more or less, right, God showed me the name of the person I was going to marry, right? Yeah. If you want to know more details about that, you can hit me up if you know what I'm saying, you know me. But yeah, but God showed me the name of the person that I was supposed to marry, and I was just like, oh wow, this is really, I was like, wow, like, oh my goodness, right? But I was also like this is unhelpful, because it was such a, like, it was a name that I didn't know anybody who had that name. But I later found out that that's Fisayo's middle name, right? But these were all just like, these were things that I had received beforehand. And like I said, I didn't realize just how God was divinely setting things up. But in hindsight, it's like, yo, man, like, this is such a really cool and awesome story that he was writing. So when I moved to Maryland, in 2018, it was really on it. It also was just a leap of faith. I got an opportunity to work in a lab at Bowie State, and yeah, I was just there. Like I said, Fisayo and I had already been building up a solid friendship. And so I was just like, yo, like, let's just kind of like, let's keep it going. And during that time, Fisayo would have like monthly worship nights in her house, and that probably sounds like, I don't know how that sounds to you, but it would usually just be like 5 of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it
so
was really chill.
My birthday, I had like a gamer worship night. That's what I love stuff like that. So I think it was it I did it September, and then every month after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was me, Faye, Israel, Jumi, Maxwell sometimes.
Gucci would come.
Gucci.
Too.
Yeah, it was very chill.
But really, and I didn't know, it was really, the only reason why she would invite me was because she needed me to play guitar. And also because she secretly, like...
That's not why.
Had a huge crush on me.
It was the guitar.
She had a really huge crush on
None of us in the group knew how to play an instrument. We weren't trying to do a cappella.
Yeah, so
it was the guitar.
Enter in the psalmist.
LOL.
Playing guitar. But just during that time, 2018, like, our friendship just grew more and more solid. And we decided to take that another trip in 2019.
Before that, December 2018 into 2019, I went to One Thing conference. It was my first IHOP conference.
In Kansas City.
I was really, really excited. It was like, okay, I'm just going to go, I need to strengthen my relationship with the Lord. And I remember specifically during one of the sessions, it was worship. I'm closing my eyes worshiping, and I see a vision, right? And in the vision, it's 3 different scenes. So the first scene is me taking Faye and introducing him to my mom officially as my boyfriend. The second scene is me, Faye, having a double date with Corday and Jimmy. And then the third scene was me and Faye with kids. I still don't know how many kids, but it was with kids. And I remember after I saw that, I was upset again. Because it's like, everything is telling me this is not how it's going to go. Like, what else do I need? Like, God, why are you giving me these signs when the person who really needs to know hasn't gotten the memo yet? Because I'm not about to walk up to him and be like, I like you, what we gonna do? I just wasn't gonna do that. So I remember specifically asking God, like, God, take away this distraction, because I thought it was just something that I was like making up in my head. So I was like, take away this distraction. I want to worship. I came here just to seek you. And Holy Spirit was like, I'm showing you your future, and you're calling it a distraction. And I made a video just like this that day in the hotel room, because I was like, God, why are you doing this? I was so confused. And then also 2017, my grandma was here for Corday's wedding. And I remember I told her and my mom, they were like, I think they asked, like, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, no, but let me give you this name. So I gave them his name, and I was like, pray over this. They didn't say anything to me after the fact. But I think it's so cool that my mom and my grandma actually knew in 2017, because they were, I don't know if they really prayed, but I told them to pray about it, but they didn't tell me anything. So yeah, that was like another confirmation I had. And I remember I was having a conversation with one of my friends, Ruth, at IHOP, and we're just like, once you've gotten confirmations from guys, like what's the final confirmation type thing? And one thing Ruth said that just stuck to me was, once the guy approaches you and chooses you, that's the final confirmation you need. So it was like, okay,
yeah,
I'ma just wait,
yeah, so
and we'll see what happens.
She was just waiting around to get chosen. And what I love so much about Fisayo, and also just about this story, is like the whole time she was playing it cool. Oh my, like,
yeah, you couldn't
like,
know.
you should teach a master class on playing it cool 101. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, no, I mean, like she mastered that friend zone like nobody's business. No, for real. Because like I said, like, we were just like really, really, really good friends. And I was just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just doing my thing, and she would also just be doing her thing, just playing it cool. Like there was actually some times where I would, like, the reason why I never even considered the possibility was because I just didn't think that she liked me. Like, she would just be like dry, you know what I'm saying? Like she wouldn't laugh. Like, you see the way she's laughing now? Like, she would not. Oh, like, I would just get like,
that's not true. You just think you're funnier than you really are.
Yo, like, I will be bringing out my best material, not for any other reason, just because, like, I just like people to have a good time around me for the most part. Good holy time, all right?
What?
A good holy time.
Christians, bro.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. So yeah. So like, I never thought, that she liked me, and so it's 2019, and we decide that we're going to, organize a trip again, because our friends in New Jersey, they had invited other people, right? And besides, she wasn't trying to do it again.
Because I was actually in Maryland.
Yeah.
If you know
we were both
BCF
in
conference, there's already a bus with a bus driver driving. Why would I then? We were really dumb. We were both in Maryland. We decided to drive 4 hours to Jersey and then 10 hours to North Carolina.
Yeah, no,
What?
I mean, like, so on that, so we left Maryland on a Thursday afternoon. We get to New Jersey Thursday evening, and we slept a little bit, rested a little bit, and then we left late Thursday evening, early Friday morning, right? And the entire trip. So by the time we went to the national conference, drove back up to New Jersey, and then got back to Maryland, right? Fisayo and I had been together that entire weekend for about 5 days. So yeah, 5 days. We left Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we didn't get back to Maryland on Monday. Monday was a holiday, right? Yeah, so we get back to Maryland on Monday, and so like, we have been together like the whole way through.
And the whole weekend, Faye was being, he claims he wasn't, but he was making comments here and there, and he was doing things here and there where he was, I would say at that point, he was giving me mixed signals. He claims nothing happened, but something happened that weekend. Corday even peeped. Oh yeah, and then remember when we went to pick up food with Bellama?
Yeah.
And he randomly asked, he was like, so, how are y'all friends? Or what do y'all talk about? And I'm just like, did someone put Bellama up to this? Is someone trying to see if I like him? I thought it was all a setup, but I found out later it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. But like, and Doshi's saying I was giving mixed signals. Right?
You were.
It honestly wasn't until like on the drive back from national conference that like I first began to consider like the possibility of pursuing a relationship with Fisayo, because like I said, we have been together the entire weekend, right? And there was just like there was just like a calmness, you know what I'm saying, like about her.
Who's that?
Right, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know that meme that's like, ladies, like, be his piece, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just,
what?
yeah, like, you know, I was just like, wow, like, you know, like it was just really like just an enjoyable experience, and as we're driving back, you know, I'm just like, wow, like, man, like, this would be like really, really interesting. But then another thought would come like, bro, like she doesn't even like you. Like she doesn't even laugh at your jokes.
Oh,
like,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's not giving you any indications, anything like that, right? And then a moment happened as soon as we got back to Maryland, right? And I'm dropping her off at her mom's house, and then I'm about to like return the van back to the rental spot. So as I'm driving out of her neighborhood, right? She was also driving to go drop Jumi off, right? Somebody.
No, you just dropped me off at home.
Okay.
I wasn't going anywhere.
No, because you weren't at home.
Oh.
Yeah. So you went to go drop Jumi off.
Okay.
Yeah. So she went to go drop Jumi off. I went to go drop the rental car or the rental van off. And so as I'm driving out, right, I look over and I see her notebook sitting on the dashboard. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's Fisayo's notebook. And so I called her. I was like, oh yeah, you left your notebook. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm out of the house. So just leave it in the mailbox, right? So as I turn around, as I turn around to go and return her notebook back to the mailbox, right? It kind of flies off of the dashboard, and to this day, I don't know if I was hallucinating or if I actually read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a long weekend, you know, been losing sleep, whatever, right? But the notebook flies off of the dashboard, right? And as I like reach over to like pick it up, right, I see, because it opened up, and I see CRAZYYY is your husband, right? CRAZYYY is your husband. I was like, oh my goodness. I was just like, yo,
gosh.
This girl has to either be like a secret agent or or a trained like. I was just like, in my wildest dreams, I never imagined that I would see that written out, because like I said, she would just play it super cool around me. No indications, no nothing. Like there was no sort of like outside influences or anything like that. And like I said, like I had began to, like during that weekend, I begun to consider the possibility of even like praying about her, right? And so I was just like, wow.
So embarrassing. And he didn't tell me this until after we got together, thankfully, because I would have
like,
been mortified.
I was just like, wow. This is crazy. Like, you know, like the moment that I began to think about it, like, you know, God was like, hey, bruh, yeah, bruh. So after this time, I was just like, wow, like, man, I actually maybe need to really seriously like consider this stuff in prayer. And it took me a while, a long time, before I finally really came around, to the idea of pursuing a romantic relationship with Fisayo. I would pray about it. You know what I'm saying? I would talk to my mentors and stuff about it. And like I said, it wasn't until I began to pray, and to retroactively consider the things that God has spoken to me about, and seeing how like Fisayo like hit all of those points like to a T. You know what I'm saying? Like even down to the fact that she speaks and understands Yoruba. That was something that I was like, that was on my list. Yeah, whatever. You can think whatever you want about me, but it was totally a thing, right? I also wanted somebody like who could hold a note, you know what I'm saying? Like who could sing, right? And it wasn't until later that I found out that she leads worship, at her church. And then especially, right, remember I mentioned about seeing the name. I remember it was like sometime in like May, when I just randomly discovered her middle name, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's the name that was in the dream. Yo, my mind was just like literally, it was just like all the signs were like it's her. And I just remember one day, like it was one day in the springtime, as I was still like praying and like seeking the Lord, I felt God tell me like, bro, if you miss out on her, you are a idiot. Straight up. Straight up. That's how I heard it. God was like, yo, like, if you let her pass you by, like you really a dummy. Like I died for nothing.
Wait, what? We're not cutting that out.
Oh my goodness. Yo, like, and I was just like, okay, got it. Gotcha. Bet. But it's so funny, right? Because at the moment that I began to come around, right, Desire was like,
Literally, I would talk to Ife and she's like, oh, I didn't mention, I had a dream. See, forgetting all the details. I had a dream where we both took our wedding date, because that's how when we're getting married. We took our wedding date and presented it to Uncle George. So I would talk to Ife, telling her everything. And she's like, the same God that gave you a date and a wedding can tell you pretty much when you need to like wash your hands off the situation. Where you're like, if Faye does not approach you by this date, it's done. Like, there's nothing else that can be done. You're moving on. You're releasing yourself. He can do whatever he wants. And I would pray that prayer and not get a date. Or I felt like I didn't get a date.
She didn't want to let go.
I felt like I wouldn't get a date, but I was really tired at that point. It was just like, I'm done. It's been, at this point, it was like 2.5 years from when I felt like I first knew or had feelings. So thankfully,
almost 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years.
This is 2019. Yeah, this is like July. Yeah, so
yeah,
we're in July 2019, right?
And then
in
July,
in
June.
Don't gotta say all that.
Wait, no, in June when you went to Nigeria.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I do have to say this, boy. This is my story. So in June he went to Nigeria. This was my time of letting go or trying to let go, because at this point we were talking almost every day. It was just ridiculous. So I was like, Faye's going to Nigeria. He doesn't have an iPhone. He has an Android. So I was like, we won't be talking on iMessage, right? We just won't talk. And then he got to Nigeria and he started talking to me on WhatsApp. I had never held a conversation on WhatsApp before. But literally that whole month he was in Nigeria, we talked every single day.
We didn't talk every
Yes, we did.
single
We
day.
talked every single day.
Okay, yeah.
That month in June. And then one of the times, it was Hannah's wedding, June 29th, I think. And he video called me, telling me stories about how he wants to go pick up something. I'm like, why is he video call? Like, this is just not our relationship. We had never talked on the phone before.
Yeah.
We're just texting. But me too, I was answering like during. But I was answering at a wedding, preparing to go to my friend's wedding. And I remember telling Corday, and before that, I felt like God had told me, because I went to a prayer camp, God had told me something where he was like, you need to pray for 30 days about this situation, about faith. A guy that requires this much prayer. You need to pray for 30 days. But I really wasn't taking it seriously because I'm like, God, I've prayed. I feel like I've gotten to confirmation. What's the point? Corday reminded me of that. And then it was June 29th. She was like, just start your prayers July 1st. So you pray for the month of July. There's 31 days in July, but whatever. You pray for 30 days. So July 1st, every morning I would wake up and it would just be like, Heavenly Father, please, what was my prayer? Like, open up his eyes or something.
Yes,
and that was it. It wasn't like, like fire, come down prayer, but that his eyes would be open.
very
so that
dangerous.
started July 1st. And then we had an event in Jersey at Resting Place. We had a conference we wanted to go to.
Wait, hold on. You're jumping.
What else happened?
No, like, I mean, I need to tell my part of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, so by like May, a little bit before I went to Nigeria, I was pretty solid. Like, I was pretty sold on the idea of pursuing a relationship with Fisayo. But I was just kind of having cold feet a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it was just like by that point in time, by May, June, I was like, yeah, she's definitely the one. So that's why we were talking each and every single day. And so as she stated, right, on that, she had begun to pray, and she was ready that at the end of July, if I hadn't said anything, that I was gonna get,
like literally
get cut, right? But I was like I said, I was like ready, like to make my move, and as the Lord would really have it, right, in such a divine way, the day that I asked her out or made my intentions known to her was, what was the day?
July 29th.
July.
A day before the 30 days prayer was
somebody
over.
say the 29th day.
Hallelujah,
Come on, man.
Lord. Yes.
He's the God of the 29th. Right before you give up the rope. Don't let go of the rope now. Don't let go of the rope. The bucket is almost at the top of the well. Just don't let go of the rope. And she didn't let go of the rope. And I mean, me, who was at the end of the rope, I'm pretty tall, I'm pretty long, so it's like, she was like, just pulling me up the rope. But yeah, man, God is just really great. He's really cool. He's really faithful. And yeah, from that moment, it's been all.
Don't lie to them. It's been all what?
It's been all joy, man.
All joy.
It's all joy. Yeah. So, you got anything else to share?
No, that's pretty much it. I don't
Any
think I
last
missed
words?
anything.
Any last words for our friends who may be, in this situation? Waiting on a guy to come around.
Keep
to my
waiting.
fellas.
Wait, let me say my own.
Sorry.
Keep waiting. And I would say always having, one thing that really helped was having the right people around me. So obviously I didn't tell a lot of people, but the ones I did tell were able to just keep me grounded and make sure, I wasn't doing too much around him, or I just wasn't doing too much. And like I said, Corday was the one, that reminded me of what God told me and prompted me to start the prayer July 1st. So keeping people who I know for a fact, Corday, Jimmy, if I were praying with me and for me, keep the right people around you. Solid people. It really does matter. And honestly, this whole process strengthened my relationship with God, because it was just like, just because there's a delay doesn't mean God isn't going to actually come through with what he said, right? And if this didn't end up with us getting together, it would have not shattered, but it would have really hurt my relationship with God, because I honestly felt like God spoke to me. So it's like, God, do I not know how to hear you anymore? But this really solidified that I do know how God speaks to me. And when he gives me a word, all I need to do is hold on to it, literally, and he will do the rest.
Yeah, and she also just did a really great job too of keeping her emotions in check. That she never just jumped on top of me and said like, you must marry me now. She
does that.
You kept your emotions.
I'm saying people don't do that.
Whatever. Because I've heard stories. Anyways, and for me, there's a scripture that a brother of mine shared with me, and it's from, I believe it's in Isaiah, where it says that he that believes will not make haste, right? And one of the reasons why it took me a while for my eyes to be open, right, was really just because really just because of that word, right? He that believes will not make haste. And so like God had been speaking to me, but I didn't realize that it was about Visayo, right? And I'm really glad, I'm really grateful, that I didn't just like hastily move, right? Just off of 90% confirmation, when it came to other people, and those ladies are really awesome people, you know what I'm saying? And they all had great qualities, but it just all didn't fit together in such a beautiful way, for me, like Visayo has, and that really, that gives me hope, because like even for me, just some aspects of the journey, like they would be discouraging, even though I guess I was the one breaking the hearts, but they would be discouraging, because it's like, oh man, like like, man, like this joint isn't really like working out. Oh man, like
Because he has so many options, y'all.
anyways, yeah, you know, but I'm really grateful that that I didn't make haste, you know, and I was able to find my perfect match.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. So thank you guys for you know.
That was a lot longer than we expected.
But it's all joy.
Yeah, so we can't wait to celebrate with you in
Yeah.
like 70 something days.
May 22nd is going up in Jesus' name.
Amen. It's going down.
No, it has to go up. Only goes up. Never goes down.
Okay.
Forward, ever. Backward, never.
Never.
Jesus is Lord.
Okay.
Amen.
Bye.